All right, Shalom. Before I get started, I want to give all glory and honor to YAHAWAH, BAHA, SHEM, YAHAWASHI, BAHA, SHEM, Rakar, Kodash. All right, double honors to my apostles and elders, a great millstone that are willing well. Peace and safety to all the sincere occupants I am pushing this word in truth and sincerity. And shalom to the few sisters that are coming back to this word, all right? So I just want to do this lesson on dealing with Costco's Doomsday prepping food kit, okay, that they're selling. All right, and the title of it is on businessinsider.com. This is entitled as, which came out today. Costco is selling $6,000 Doomsday Prepper food kits that can feed a family of 4 for a year. All right, and it says Costco's kits range from $1,000 to $6,000, including a mix of grains, fruits, vegetables, protein, and dairy. Costco is selling emergency food that can feed a family of 4 for 1 year. The kit includes freeze-dried broccoli, green beans, corn, dehydrated apples, and other grains and proteins that have a shelf life of up to 30 years. One anonymous reviewer called a $4,000 kit at end of the world as we know it insurance. All right, and that's pretty much all I'm gonna read on it. But I just find this funny because the irony of it all is people have been prepping for the so-called end of the world, or as they call it, or as they view it from their point, which we all know is the return of YAHAWASHI and the angels to bring destruction on his wicked kingdom. But what is it? What does that end of the world entail? Famines, pestilence, destruction, war, and so on and so forth. So now, for the last several, I remember when I remember in 2008 was my personal, maybe others were before then, of course, but for me, you know, this is 10 years ago. This is when I remember this girl, this Benjamite girl. She sent me the video of Aaron Russo speaking about the towers coming down and the chip and so on and so forth. So that was my first time realizing, like, oh, there's really powers that be that want the worst for me, you know, and that was when I started realizing, you know, people were prepping. I never, 2005, 4, 5, 6, I had no clue about people actually prepping. That was the furthest thing from my thought process, you know, because I was younger, you know, you're talking, you know, over, you know, damn near 13, 14 years ago, you know, when I was still in my mind frame of, you know, chasing the bag and getting rich and, you know, chasing so-called that American dream, you know. But then at that point, that's when I started researching and I'm like, oh shit, this shit is real. And, you know, so I say all that to say, you know, at that point, going back to those years for myself and looking and realizing people were prepping, you know, people that were prepping were actually looked upon as crazy people. It was an actual kind of a underground thing. People didn't speak publicly of the fact that them buying canned goods and 50-pound bags of rice and tents and book bags and all that shit, you know. But here we have it, a company like Costco, which is equivalent of Sam's and Walmart and so on and so forth, selling end of the world kits. Now, my point of speaking on this is it just goes to show you how the serious times that we're in, that you have companies that are actually selling you survival kits. Now you got to believe, first and foremost, what's so funny about this is which we through the Spirit here at Great Millstone and coming and preaching of the word of Yahawah, Shem, Yahawashi, we don't believe in prepping. We're spiritual preppers. We're prepping for the return of Yahawashi. He told us not to worry about food and raiment. Okay, Now, what's the irony of all this to show you that this devil is full of his tricks is you got first and foremost to be able to go into a place like Costco or Sam's, you have to have a membership. You can't just walk in there and decide I'm going to go buy this kit. You have to sign up. You have to get a card that you scan when you go in there. So what does that mean? They have your name. They have your phone number. They have your address. They have probably a picture of you. You see? So when you go in there, even if you went in there with $7,000 cash, right? Because when you buy certain things of the world and you don't necessarily want people to know what you're buying, you pay cash. Part of the reason why Esau, this devil, wants to get rid of this cash society, because there's a lot of money floating around here that goes unaccounted for in Esau's world. And what do I mean by unaccounted? Not necessarily unaccounted for on the books, but money gets floated around. You got now Esau knows who sells drugs, but he doesn't know to the penny of what that person sells drugs. You have women that might charge, like my rib does hair on the side. She might charge a woman $100 to do her hair, right? That money goes unaccounted for in Esau's books because she's not paying taxes on it. The woman that paid it, she's not, he doesn't know exactly what she took that $100 out of the ATM for per se. You see what I'm saying? So when you go buy this kit, it's actually bait. It's like buying a gun from a gun store. They're gonna know, oh, we got 20 people that came in here and bought kits. All right, and they live here, here, and here. So we know, because if you understand the law under this devil, he has laws written in place that if you have more than 7 days worth of food in your house, you are deemed a domestic terrorist. What does that make you when you have a year's worth of food in your house? All right. And matter of fact, since I said that, let's actually go. Let's go to Isaiah 10. All right. Woe, 10:1. It says, woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, and that write grievousness which they had prescribed, to turn aside the needy from judgment, and to take away the right from the poor of my people. See, and from the poor of my people, that widows may be their prey, and that they may rob the fatherless. And this is one of those things. This is bait. This is no different than some scavengers in the end days putting a woman out in front of you to bait you to come to lay with that woman. And while your pants is below your ankles, 3 men come from behind you and clobber you over the side of your head, Let me find another scripture. Bear with me 1 second. Because see, people that are buying this, if you're smart, see smart preppers, which there really is no such thing as smart preppers, but hypothetically speaking, the smart ones, they're not going to fall for this trick. They've already, first and foremost, they've already prepared. When you got major corporations selling you things to survive, where they are actually setting up themselves, that shows you what time we're in, because Costco's are going to be used as concentration camps. All right. So let's go to bear with me 1 second. I can't find it. Keep it moving. It's no biggie. All right, so let's go to the next scripture, and I'm going to close up here. All right. This is Proverbs 1, and we're going to go straight to the point. Simple scripture. And it reads, Proverbs 1 and 22, and it reads, how long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? All right. And for you people that don't understand what the hell is coming to this place with everything that's going on around it, you're simple as all hell. All right. When you have a company as such promoting and broadcasting the fact that they're selling doomsday prep kits. Why would they sell doomsday prep kits if there is no doomsday coming? All right. You have the scientists with the doomsday clock, and that's creeping on close to midnight. Everything around the world is pressing towards the fact that gloominess and doom and lamentations and woe is coming onto this place. But you ones that love simplicity, you're stuck in the house of mirth. You think it's all good. You men, you're still chasing fat booty chicks. You know, you're chasing the bag. You want to be the next greatest rapper, producer, actor, singer, comedian, Instagram famous. You women, you want to travel the world and do all this silly shit. You're going to find yourself out there high and dry, okay? Because this place is ready to go down. For me, when I see something like this, it's just like, man, we here. Because basically these companies is trying to cash out on the fear or the reality of what's going on, but it's just a final bait. It's just bait. That's all this is. It's just bait to bait those in. Because real preppers out here, they already prepped. You got people right now that are already living off the grid, man. You got people that have been living off the... You think that the masses of these people are actually waiting for some event to happen so they can finally go to their bunkers? No, you got a lot of people out here that are actually already off the grid, living in their doomsday bunkers. All right. When you watch that movie, I forget the name of it. And if I could find it, Lord willingly, I'll put it in the post productions at this mark. The fact of there was this movie with Brendan Fraser, the Edomite that played in the Mummy, you know, and basically during the Cold War era, his family had him living in a bunker underneath his house. All right, in fear of the war. But the war never came. And they actually stayed under that bunker until he became a grown man, like 25, 30 years. So his 25, 30 years, he actually lived in that bunker. And the same thing proves today. You got people right now that are actually living in their bunkers. For example, years ago, when did I have this conversation? Oh, my daughter wasn't even born yet. So this was 5 years ago. My father was in the process of looking for a house. And this one guy had this beautiful house, you know, in this extravagant neighborhood. And basically at that point, this was 5 years ago, he basically sold his house for cheap. Let's just say his house was for just an example, for the sake of this video, his house was $1 million home. He let it go for well underneath the value because he wanted to get the fuck out of it quick. So he might have sold it for $500,000 just to get out of it. And the selling point of his house was he literally was letting the furniture stay, the clothes, the appliances, the everything. He wanted to get rid of all his shit. Because, and I remember my dad talking to me about it, and he was kind of like, you know, which he don't understand the truth, so he was kind of like, this guy's nutty, you know. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, well, you know, hey, Dad, what makes you think a man with so much money would just go so crazy? Why do you say he's crazy? You should look at it more so from a thing of what spooked him for him to just be like, I don't care about none of this shit, and I'm out. And that guy ended up moving to some place like Iowa, all right? Basically living off the land. Next, he had a cabin or whatever next to a stream. You got a lot of people right now. They're not waiting for full-fledged shit hit the fan to be prepped, all right? Because all you people, we're not waiting for shit hit the fan to prep. Men like myself, going all the way up to Apostle Tahar, we're not waiting for the shit hit the fan to be like, okay, it's time to get ready. Because that's simple. We're preparing right now so that when the shit hits the fan, we're all right. All right. And the same thing applies to the people of the world. People know that the shit hits, the people that truly know that the shit hits the fan, they're probably not even on the grid anymore. I remember I'm going to finish the scripture, I'm going to go, but I'm going to finish up with this other story too. It's a guy that comes in my job. You know, he works in, sheriff department here. And, we was just speaking on the subject matter of, him basically thinking about going off the grid. Now, I just was listening to him. I'm on my job. He's a cop. I'm just listening, and he ends up telling me that, he was thinking about it, basically putting a fence around his house, living in the woods, and just waiting it out. And I think that sometimes when men and people tell you certain things, they're not telling you from a place of considering. They're telling you what they've already done, because this guy was a regular customer at my job, and I haven't seen him for weeks, and I'm there basically, if not, 5 days out the week every morning, those mornings, and I haven't seen him since. And I was like, damn, where the hell is this guy at? Chances are he could have just did what he said. He could have said, fuck it. Things is happening around the world. I'm getting the hell out of Dodge, So I'm going to finish this scripture up. All right. This is Proverbs 1:22. It says, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity, and the scorners delight in their scorning, and fools hate knowledge. And the ultimate knowledge, all right, starts with the knowledge of the Holy Scriptures. All right. This truth of which we're bringing out to the forefront. But underneath that all, we're set up as the filter system of filtering all this knowledge of the world through the scriptures. All right, because the scriptures is our measuring stick. That's the scale. All right, and if it don't weigh out, it doesn't apply. All right. So part of that knowledge is understanding that the shit is about to hit the fan. All right. The end of this society. All right. But we here to tell you that we prep differently. But you got people that actually are anti-prepping. Like, nah, man, I don't believe that. The world is okay. America's the greatest society ever. It's like, okay. So with that being said, I'm going to close up, because this is another form to show you that people out here are extremely sensitive. If I didn't know what I know and I saw something like that, that would actually move me. This is something that had me like, man, what the fuck? What do you mean they selling end of the world doomsday prep kits? Like, this is a thing now? Like, oh, okay. So with that, I'm going to close up and give all glory and honor to YAHAWAH, YAHAWASHI, and until next time, shalom.